Hi, guys. Happy Memorial Day weekend. I know the pools are always open in Los Angeles, Al, but it's like we have a cold spell here. It's like 50 degrees and raining, which is, if you actually, I know you're not a big baseball guy, but you see the schedule. A lot of canceled games on the East Coast. Just been raining, and raining. Hopefully, we'll get some of that Memorial Day warmth coming back to the East Coast very soon. But right now, it is, it's like the dead of winter. It's funny. I was telling somebody when it's 60 degrees in November, you feel like it's hot. And then when it's 60 degrees in May, you feel like it's cold because you're expecting it to be hot. We can't all have that perfect weather that you have out there in LA.
Except when there's fires, right?
Except when there's fires. So with that being said, guys, reach out to me. I think we're doing this video early on Saturday. You already cashed one play today. What did we cash so far today?
Indiana Fever +4 against the New York Liberty.
And they lost by 2, correct? Yeah.
Correct.
Right. So, like I said, let's rock and roll. WNBA, we got NBA. This is the time of year where you just keep slugging away. When do you start getting into the CFL world?
Next month.
Next month. Got it. And then we have obviously UFL, and we have baseball and hockey, and you do drop some baseball plays and some hockey plays as well. With that being said, reach out for all access. You got the phone number right on the screen, or send me an email if you're international, eric@pickdogs.com. Again, it's not for everybody. You can get 99% of the same plays heading over to pickdogs.com, buying a day, a week, a month, a season, a year, whatever you want. And then you get the additional late updates, but you get the rating systems and the ability to contact Al and ask him about any additional games with normalcy that you want to know about. As we've talked about in prior videos, we have a client, Nick. He's reach out. I mean, basically, you're like 90% on your reach out plays from the clients. It's kind of funny. But people go to games. People are fans of their favorite team and alumni, or freaks of the pro teams, like, just like you're a Spurs freak. So with that being said, you get a lot of value. I will say I had a very long conversation with a past client of yours. And I'm going to say this again. This is a really good learning experience for clients out there. I'm going to actually make sure to tell them to watch this video, to go back when it's posted tomorrow. Johnny in Florida. Johnny in Florida was a long-term member for 5 months, but Johnny in Florida only had one sports book. And Johnny in Florida basically, very short-lived into the relationship with All Access, got limited. And so therefore went off the reservation and stopped following the program because he didn't look to go elsewhere to get his plays down. And like I said, I'm going to just keep going back to it. Don't be limited by being focused on the one book that's taking your action, especially if you're in a state where it's legal. Florida is one of those states where, again, you have one sports book. Then you can go to places like Colorado where there's 19 sports books that are legal. So again, in the world we're living in 2025, you got credit shops, you got offshore shops. And again, for a guy to sit back and watch this come in and be successful and only be able to get $200 down on a 10-unit play you had last week, it's, you got to do the work. Like you said several times, you have 6 sports books. It's not easy. You'd love to have one sports book where you can put everything. But what I tell people is it's hard enough to win. When you finally pick up a service that can make you money and win, then you're going to have to do a little extra work. And that might mean betting in multiple spots.
Right. Yeah, absolutely right.
You know?
I mean, we joke all the time. It's easy to have one sports book if you're paying every week. I mean,
More
they'll roll out. They will roll out the red carpet for you.
Send you Lear jets to your house to fly you to Las Vegas, baby. It's like Costi. He got the Rolls Royce Phantom picking him up at the airport. He got the Sky Suite at the Aria, and he's trying to expect me to believe he's winning on the slot machines. It's not even sports betting. It's slots. He sits there with 10, 20, 30,000, feeds the machines. And then he says to me, "Oh, they put me in a $10,000 night suite at the Aria." And then he shows me the text. The Phantom is picking him up, holding the thing up, Mr. Saphir, at the airport. And I said, "Oh, yeah, it's because you're banging him." And he's telling me about all these slot jackpots that he hit. And I go, "Oh, yeah." And of course, I love him dearly, but I'm sure if they look at the numbers, they know that if he keeps doing that over a course of time, they're going to get it back.
Yeah, I mean it's not, that situation is not necessarily based on losing, it's based on volume.
Right,
And they know that he will lose if he bets that kind of volume
right,
on a slot machine.
correct.
I mean, it's different with sports because you can beat sports, but you're not going to beat a slot machine.
Well, and they're chintzy with the comps for sports. They don't give you the
Well,
free
I mean,
rooms. They don't give you the.
because you could beat sports.
I remember one time I was at a sports book, and then we'll get to the complimentary selection. But the clients do like these stories. I was in a sports book with a guy, and his wife was enjoying the beverages, and she kept going up to the bar. And where are you going, honey? And she would go up to the bar and pay $10 for a beer. He goes, "What are you doing? I got a whole thing. It's free tickets, free drink tickets. I'm betting 20 grand a game. You don't have to pay for any alcohol." She didn't
Yeah.
know. She kept walking away, coming back with a beer. He thought it was comp from the ticket. She's spending $100 on beers.
I'm sure they can afford it if they're betting
But the
$20,000 on
big
the Oakland
joke
Raiders.
was, but the big joke was that's all he could get at the sports book was the free drink tickets. He couldn't get
Oh,
the free
sure. Oh,
room.
that's
He
all. That's
couldn't
all they
get the
give me.
comps. He couldn't get the lobster meal. None of that.
Yeah, they give me my free drink tickets. You know?
Exactly. So, with that being said, what are you looking at for Sunday on this Memorial Day weekend?
Well, there were two WNBA games, Eric, on Saturday. We played one of them. The other game was the Atlanta Dream, and the Atlanta Dream won and covered against the Dallas Wings, winning by 8, laying 7.
Okay.
Unfortunately for Atlanta, they're saddled with back-to-back games. So they're playing without rest on Sunday. They're at home, but they're laying 8.5 points now to Connecticut, and Atlanta is unrested. Connecticut's off to an 0-3 start,
I see
but
that.
you really don't want to play on home favorites without rest, and especially not against losing teams that are rested, as our home unrested favorites have only covered 33% going back to 2006. So we're going to take the 8.5 with the Connecticut Sun.
The Suns plus the Sun,
The
not
Sun.
Sun, Sun, not Suns. Sun singular plus the 8.5 is your complimentary selection. Reach out to me, guys. A lot of people will message me and say, are you available? As Al's mentioned before, 365, 7 days a week. I always say if the athletes can get on the court and play, I can answer the phone when you send me a text. So I look forward to hearing from you. Happy Memorial Day, and as always, good day and good luck.